Yo, I just wanted to start a video talking about you and your emotions. You know what I mean? Your emotions are not you, and you are not your emotions. You gotta learn how to separate the two in order to operate a little bit better. You gotta kind of like look at your emotions. When you feel your emotions, you're standing in the river of your emotions. Visualize that river while you standing in that river. Visualize you standing in the river of your emotions as if it's a real river. Then when you do that, visualize a bridge above you. Visualize a bridge above that river of emotions. Now visualize yourself standing on that bridge, looking down at your emotions. Now when you do that, you detach yourself from your emotions. And now you can look at your emotions as well as feel your emotions at the same time. And when you do that, you understand that you don't have to be controlled by your emotions. You can just experience them and let them go. You create distance from yourself and the emotion. And you allow that emotion to pass over and not control you and possess you. A lot of the times when we get angry, we say some things that we regret when our body calms down and we come back to, a regular state of mind because you've just been possessed by an emotion. So a lot of the time it's not you that's going crazy, is you've been possessed by anger. And once you realize the separation from you and your emotions, you build that awareness. When you build that awareness, you're more capable of having a little bit of self-control. And that's the goal right there. Being aware that you are not your emotions and you can see the separation with you and your emotions so that you can stop, letting your emotions control you, whether you depressed or angry or whatever it is that you may be. You know that you don't have to let the emotions control your actions, because usually when your emotions take over, they paint your picture, they paint your future, they paint your life. Your emotions create your path. But once you know that they're not you and that you can calm down, then make a decision with a clear mind. You have a clear mind before you make your decisions, then you can be the one that makes the decisions, not your emotions make the decisions. This is why most people go through cycles. They go through cycles because emotions come every day. Sometimes if you mad every day about something, you get emotional about something every day, sometimes that emotion just comes over you every day. You might not even know what the fuck is going on, but you're so used to having that emotion in certain times of the day that it just comes automatically. Like that, you get haunted by that emotion automatically because this is a habit. Your body has built a habit for this emotion. A lot of the times you just have this type of like sadness or or anger that comes over for no reason. You try to figure it out. And what happens is nothing really got you angry. It's just that emotion came over you. Nothing really got you sad. It's just that emotion came over you. And then you start to think of the reasons why you could be sad. Then once you think of those reasons, you start cycling through your thoughts and cycling through your life like, oh man, yeah, you know, well, this ain't right and that ain't right and this is why I'm mad and I could be mad about this, but it's just an emotion that just keeps haunting you. And you giving it the reason makes it even more stronger and stronger and stronger. So you gotta breathe, man. You gotta allow that emotion to kind of like subside, like a rainy day, like a cloud or something. And don't judge it. Don't give it power by giving it reasons why you could be mad, because you making that cloud much darker and more dense and more, you know, more stormy, and it's going to make it last longer. So a lot of times you just gotta just breathe while those chemicals are releasing inside your body. You gotta just let it breathe, bring more oxygen to your cells. The chemicals like kind of subside and go away, and stop yourself from reacting.
I found this on the web.
You know, you can stop yourself from reacting, and you can start being proactive and just knowing yourself. Try to know yourself. Try to know what triggers you. Try to know what gets on your nerves. Kind of try to know what gets you sad. Like, you know, once you figure out what triggers you, you start to know yourself. You have to know yourself if you're going out here in this world. You want to know who you are. You want to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, you know, and be honest. And sometimes that means just being honest with yourself and know what gets you angry. And sometimes we do some shit that we regret, but that's big information right there. That's like, oh shit, well, you know, I physically put my hands on somebody when this was mentioned, or, you know, when this happened. So that's big information for yourself, for you to understand yourself, and for you to know yourself. You take that information and you study that shit. Okay, when this happens, I get fucking angry, and I lash out. So when you know that about yourself, you plan to respond differently instead of reacting. And it may take a couple of times for you to notice when that trigger happens, because sometimes when that trigger happens, you're flooded with this emotion and your body is taking over. Like you have no control. And that's what happens when it's like, yo, I lost control, because that trigger already got you. But if you can see a trigger happening by knowing yourself before it happens, then you got that information, that self-awareness to allow yourself to respond differently. And then once you respond differently, you start to know yourself more. You start to be like, oh, I fixed this trigger, you know? So that means I could fix a lot of triggers, or I can be in control of myself when these triggers kind of like come, and I can respond rather than react, you know? And it's all about knowing who you are and knowing what type of mindset that you have, and probably the best way to get it over with, or to work with yourself, is doing the complete opposite of what your trigger wants you to do. So you might be triggered to be angry and cause a lot of destruction. So what you want to do is you want to do the complete opposite of what your trigger is telling you to do, to kind of like defeat that trigger. So let's say like in the hood, they want you to, you know, anybody's looking at you, you know, you look at them, you want to see what's popping. They grilling you, yo, what you what you looking at. You know what I mean? You want to know what somebody looking at. Maybe they sizing you up or whatever. But y'all initially have no issues. Y'all have no problems. So if you got no problems with somebody that you just seen and your initial trigger is to grill this person or say something to this person, man, just be like, man, what's up, man? How you doing today? You know, that's complete opposite that from what your trigger wants you to do. Your trigger wants you to cause destruction and wants you to start problems. So once you go against that trigger and you do the opposite of what that trigger does, that trigger gets more weak. It gets weak. I'm not saying it's gone, it gets weaker. And then you do it again. That trigger gets weaker and weaker and weaker till you have full control over that trigger. And that's what you want to do, is have self-control, man. Self-mastery. That's what it's all about. And it starts with self-awareness. It starts with the willingness to see yourself. And once you see yourself, then you're able to work with yourself. You know, see yourself. I said this in one of the other videos, man. See yourself like you see other people. You could see other people clearly. You could judge them, and you could discriminate against them. See yourself and self-discriminate. See what's going on with you, because at the end of the day, you have nothing to do with the other person unless you have a personal relationship with them. But you have no control over that person and what they do. But you have control over yourself, and quite frankly, you just looking at other people so you don't got to deal with yourself. You know what I mean? So I think the best thing is to do is to know yourself, look at yourself, discriminate, hold yourself accountable for what you do and who you are and how you are, and see your triggers, see your strengths, see your weaknesses, and work on that so you can be a better you.